Hello, hello. You all know what time it is. It's time to spend time with me, your hostess with the mostest. That's right. This is Milan Treasure, and it's time for Swipe Left. Swipe left. Swipe left. Hey, you guys, it is so good to see you. Welcome to Swipe Left. Look, I got a couple things that I want to go through. You know, we are all going through some rough times. Some rough times. People are quarantined. Some people are sick. Some people are scared. Most people are scared. And just a few moments to take your mind off of what's really going on in the world. That's what I'm here for. So, listen, we're going to do what we do. We're going to cut through the bull. We're going to sort through the mess. And when we get the facts straight, we're going to what? Swipe left. So, first thing, let's get the ugly stuff out of the way first. Essence Fest has been officially canceled for 2020. You know what? It was one of the things that I was kind of sitting around. I'm like, okay, if we make it and Essence Fest doesn't get canceled, then maybe it wasn't all that bad. No, then I looked up and it was there. Boom, Essence Fest was canceled. Um, usually a good time had by all. It's not gonna happen this year, guys. So that's it. Essence Fest for 2020 has officially been canceled. That's all right. That's all right. We'll push through like we push through everything else. And next year, we'll just see you all down there in NOLA for the Essence Fest next year. There's going to be a whole party next year, trust me. It's going to be a whole party. All right. Ah, swipe left. Okay, so listen. Stimulus checks have been the talk of the week has been about these here stimulus checks. Everybody is just like waiting and people are getting them. And listen, I hope you all are making the best decisions with the stimulus checks. I don't even know what more to say to you. I've said it a million times over the last 2 weeks on my channel. Um, be smart. Be smart. Stimulus check is not for a shopping spree. Stimulus check is for bills and taking care of yourself and trying to make sure that you actually have what you need. We don't know what's coming. We don't know what's coming. We don't know where we're at completely. That stimulus check is to help you make it through till we can get back to whatever is going to be our new normal. So make smart decisions. But while we're at this, let me tell you a little story that went on down in Georgia. Okay? Down in Georgia, there was one of these shops that do a speedy return. And when I listened to the story, they started into the story. See, I knew it was going to be some mess because they started into the story by saying that this place has had a couple hits from the Better Business Bureau, and um, they got a little bit of a name for being a little bit messy. Okay, so there were a bunch of folks lined up outside of this here place. Now, what has actually happened could have really been an innocent mistake, but with their back story of being messy and making mistakes, and sometimes not mistakes, just being messy, I don't think that it was really a mistake. I think it was an opportunity to be messy, but that's my opinion. So allegedly, I just feel like they were being messy, but listen to what happened. So when you go to these little speedy loan joints, and that's exactly what they are, speedy loan joints, they write you a check and they pay you your income tax return. But it really is just a loan. And then when the tax return comes in, it goes into their bank account. So the way the stimulus was actually given out was, people who had direct deposits, those ones went right on out, and they went right to what was already in the system at the IRS, and they sent the stimulus checks out. Well, these folks who had actually gone to this joint, when their taxes are done, it didn't actually direct deposit to those people's accounts. The money deposited to the company's account. Now, I'm sure there's a specific way that those things are keyed in, okay, so that they know that that's not their account, that there is an account for the other person, and all of this kind of thing, and those people's checks should have been mailed or whatever and what have you. But these people didn't get a check. The monies all went into the company's account, and the company basically told them, okay, no, what we got to do is send the money back to the IRS, and then you're going to have to wait for them to generate you a regular paper check. People were upset. Very much upset. Now, this is my thing. This is my thing. With everything that's going on, how long do you think it's going to take for those people to get their checks? How long do you think it's really going to take for people to get their checks? Because I feel like they're just going to hold on to the money and then gain interest off of it and still make a profit. See, just shady. And this is what I said. Because with everything that's going on, who's going to make them rush to take care of it? Now, it should just be the click of a button. But with that little messy past that they've actually had, I get a sneaking suspicion that they're going to hold on to the money as long as they can, gain interest off of it. Those folks are going to be sitting around waiting on their checks. That's just my feeling. Listen, yeah, I said it. Allegedly, I said it. This happened down in Georgia, but just think about it. If you got $1,200, and some of those people's checks are more than $1,200. People got kids and all of that. If you got $1,200 for 40 people, that's well over 40 grand. The interest off of 40 grand is a nice little piece of change for nothing. As soon as I heard it, I was like, shade. Ain't nothing but shade. Shade. In the midst of a pandemic and who knows what else. Shady still is in fashion. A hot mess. Whatever. Listen, we're going to throw a little prayer for the folks down there in Georgia that they don't do anything to get themselves in trouble, and that maybe the spirit of goodwill will come over the place and they won't go along with their past reputation and go ahead and get them folks their money. A mess. Anyway, I had to chuckle a little bit when I seen that story. I said, just when you thought you heard it all. Anyway, swipe left. Okay, so in the midst of everything that's going on, there has been a lot of celebrities that have been kind of jumping out and doing what they do. They are entertaining and being very creative in ways of entertaining their fans. And it's been nice. It's really been nice because they could very easily just sit back and say, you know what, I'm taking a break. But people have been really coming up with little challenges and doing lives. There are DJs that are jumping out, playing music, and just being really good to the people. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. These are the times and these are the small gestures that make people icons. It really is. These are those little things that people remember and they say, no, I remember when. And that's how you become an icon. That's when people really end up loving you. Diddy did a little dance party, like a little virtual dance party, and then ran right into a little kerfuffle. During the little dance party, there were celebrities popping in that were popping in and joining in. Lizzo popped in. And Diddy shut her down. He shut her down. And see, this is the thing about virtual. Okay? It created a bit of a kerfuffle because, of course, Lizzo twerks and she gets in. She goes in. That's what she does. And she was twerking and he stopped her. And then later on in the broadcast, Drea Michelle popped in and she was twerking and Diddy didn't stop her. Okay? Now, I saw the video footage. Everybody got up in arms because they felt like it was a body shaming situation and he was being shady to Lizzo. And quite honestly, from what I saw, I have to say, I don't think it was that at all. Diddy stopped Lizzo because of the music. He said to her, and I seen it for myself, I can't run it back because I don't want to get copyrighted, but he stopped her and he said, family time, family music. It was the music. Her music was real salacious and real risque. And that's what he stopped her for. He stopped her for the music selection. She changed the music and she went ahead and she danced and everything was fine. Lizzo was fine. Diddy made a statement, of course, apologizing for any misunderstanding and all of this. Y'all know I like Diddy. I am a Diddy fan. I think he's brilliant. I think he's a brilliant businessman. I just do. And I know that Diddy knows better than to have ever pulled that type of a stunt. They even said, that the song when Drea came, it was Back That Ass Up. But do we actually see Back That Ass Up as a song that is really so terrible? Some of the songs. And again, like I said, I saw the footage. So I'm like, come on, you guys. Come on. Again, putting 20 on 10. That's, folks, that's selective outrage. But no, Diddy came out, cleared it up. Lizzo spoke about it as well. She's like, no, I didn't feel any kind of a way or anything like that. But people will make a mountain out of a molehill if you let them. They really, really will. Anyway, kudos to Diddy for being creative and giving some time of himself and trying to do something to entertain the folks while we're all quarantined and all of that. Kudos to Lizzo and Drea. Child, I'm done with it. Folks, I love them all, but y'all know y'all make a mountain out of a molehill. Y'all cut that out. Anyway, swipe left. Okay, so listen, I want to share a photo with you. Okay, so you can only go outside when you really have something important to do, such as going to the grocery store, which is exactly what I was doing. I was going to the grocery store, and I said, well, let's see what's actually going on outside. And as I was outside and I was at the grocery store, I saw that outside the birds are not really happy outside themselves, and they're not on their best behavior. Take a look at this photo. Baby, do you see that car? Now, this is just me and my crazy thoughts. I feel like they were aiming. I just feel like those birds were on bad behavior. They was ticked off about something, and I feel like they were aiming. Maybe they didn't like the color of the car. Maybe they didn't like the person that got out of the car. Something. But they were just out of order. Out of order. I said, well, it seems as though our feathered friends aren't having such a good time either. Anyway, swipe left. Okay, come in close. I want to talk to folks who generally go to the hair salon. If you generally go to a hair salon and you get your hair done, I want to urge you to really stick to what your lane is. Stick to your lane. Don't try to do anything that is outside of your wheelhouse. If there are things that you have done, chemical work, um, extra added hair, things of that nature that you generally go and you have a professional do, which is what you should be doing, I'm going to urge you to continue doing that. Um, just just stick to your skill set. Take a look at this photo. Listen, things are going to get back to normal soon, or we'll have a new normal. But you'll be able to go back to your nail salon, you'll be able to go back to your hair salon and get these services done. Please, please, don't take it on yourself to be adding hair and things of that nature when you don't know what you're doing. There are very damaging effects that can actually happen. Stick to your skill set. Yes, that is my PSA. Thank you for watching Swipe Left. Swipe Left. Okay, guys, let's talk about television. Television, television, television. So, I haven't been happy. You all know I'm a television person. This is what I do. I love it. But just one bad thing after the other, after the other, after the other. I'm like, this is really starting to get on my nerves now. Couple bad things took place. I was just made aware that after 3 seasons, Sister Circle is not going to be returning. It has been canceled. You all know I love the show. I've been a fan from the very first day. Um, yeah, I was really saddened by that. It's just not coming back. So my ladies who are there, I wish them the best in their endeavors. And that's the one good thing is that each one of these ladies has other things that are going on. So I'm not really worried about them career wise, but I sure am going to miss them. That's Quad, Miss Trina, Rashad, and Selena. I'm really going to miss seeing them 5 out of the 7 day week. But for sure, they're going to be okay. They're going to be okay. They definitely made a good run of it. People didn't even think they were going to make it through 1 season, and here it is. They made it to almost 3 seasons, and unfortunately, it's over for now. It's over for now. But it was a good show. It really was. If you never got the chance to really take in some of Sister Circle, you definitely missed out. It was a good talk show. I really enjoyed it. Best of luck to you ladies. All right, swipe left. Still on the TV. Bad news is Empire. Empire is actually going to be ending early due to our current situation. It's just going to, the plan was for the season to play out and the show to actually have a proper ending. But with the way that everything has gone and the way things are going, they're saying that allegedly it's just literally going to end abruptly, which stinks. Now, the thing is with me, you all know I was a huge Empire fan from the beginning. From the beginning. I literally didn't watch this last season because I just I felt some kind of a way. I was so upset at the abrupt ending of Star and then knowing that Empire was going to end. I just couldn't bring myself to watch the last season. And I'm so glad at this point that I didn't because I was already disappointed and I don't even think I could even stood another disappointment as goes to Lee Daniels and my little Wednesday night little ordeal that I used to have going on. So I'm glad that I actually stopped watching. I stopped myself abruptly before this could happen, but this really stinks. I really hate that this actually has happened like this. I was a big fan. I really was a big fan. And why they took Star off, I just don't know who made that decision, what they were even thinking. Just horrible, horrible. But yeah, your show, you guys, it's gonna end abruptly. It's gonna end abruptly. Um, shoot, shoot. Just another bad ordeal. Another bad ordeal. We'll be okay though. We'll be all right. Trust me. Lee Daniels will have something for us. He definitely will. All right, you guys. Swipe left. Speaking of the Empire universe, Jussie Smollett. Okay, so I haven't talked about him in a while. Haven't talked about him in a while. You know, things are still spinning out of control with that whole ordeal. And a lot of people blame the demise of the show Empire on Jussie. I never played into that whole little thing. Again, I just think it was a whole bad turn of events. But last I hear, Jussie Smollett is being sued for defamation by the two Nigerian brothers. Okay, listen, listen. So some of this is like a, yeah, right, get on out of here, okay? So the two brothers have this whole thing about, you know, how this has changed their lives. And, you know, there's, of course, they probably have death threats and different things like that about returning to their country because, you know, the whole thing about uh, homosexuality and all of that in Nigeria, you know, that's a whole kerfuffle in itself. So they were suing Jussie for defamation and all of this. And the case was thrown out, and then there was proof given, which they ended up just making things worse. There was proof that actually came out that Jussie actually did know one of the brothers intimately, and that there was proof that they had been visitors at a upscale bathhouse. So, in the midst of calling yourself throwing someone under the bus and clearing your name, you end up making things worse and having a court case thrown out and wasting money. Just ridiculous. This whole thing has just literally been ridiculous. And how many people suspected that there was something going on that had to do with Jussie and his sexuality and those brothers from the very beginning? It's like beating a dead horse. Leave it alone. It just keeps getting worse. It just keeps getting worse. Like, just let it go. Leave it alone. A mess. Anyway, I definitely cannot say that I didn't have a little chuckle in my belly. I did have a little chuckle in my belly because you all have to remember, the grave you dig for someone else, you're supposed to dig too when you start digging graves for folks. If you don't work for a funeral home, you ain't got no business digging no grave. If you're going to dig one, dig two, because you'll probably get in yours first. And that's just the way it goes. It's just the way it goes. And you made it worse. So I can't sit here and tell you I didn't have a little chuckle. I had a nice little chuckle in my belly. Good for you, Jussie. Anyway, swipe left. Hot mess. All right, you guys. Last piece of news that has to do with television. This one is not bad, though. This was a good thing. If you have not taken the time to check out the Clark Sisters movie on Lifetime, you have done yourself a disservice. I'm not usually on board with biopics because things just generally don't go very well when they're doing these biopics. And there's been a couple strikeouts right there on Lifetime. But this time, it was epic. The movie was done so well. The movie covered a lot of information, They went into a lot of areas that I was shocked that they actually went into. Of course, there's more of the story that I feel wasn't covered. Um, but it's a beautiful story with beautiful music. The acting was top notch. Listen, this movie had the best casting that I have seen in a very, very long time. The best casting. But, like I said, if you haven't seen it, definitely take some time out because you have done yourself a disservice. The Clark Sisters movie on Lifetime, they are still running it constantly over there, and they should be. They should be really, really proud of themselves. And I actually did do a live review and discussion on my channel. I will leave the link to that video in the information box here on Swipe Left. That is found over on the Spillitboy TV channel. So definitely check that out. We had a real good discussion about that movie. We really, really did. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. Like I said, not bad news. Not bad news. After all the bad news with my television programs, I was real happy to be able to tell you something good. Go and see that movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. If you've seen it, go see my review. If you've seen that, go buy their new album. How about that? All right, swipe left. So, one of the rules about children's parties is that there is always laughter, and there's always cake, and there's always crying. I don't know why, but there is. There is always laughter, cake, and crying at a child's party. Doesn't matter whether it's a girl or a boy. Laughter, cake, and crying. Those things are staples of a child's party. Take a look at this video. Baby, he was so serious. He was so upset. Listen, I have to say, I've never been a fan of kids playing in the cake and digging in the cake and all this kind of carrying on. But, you know, I've been told 900 times, you're just crazy. And you should buy a smash cake. And I don't understand the tradition of tearing in the food. I just don't get it. I don't get it. But I know in my culture, it's the thing that they do. Obviously, these people weren't thinking about the smash cake thing. They went through. Boyfriend decided to just bite on into the cake. She said no. He said, I think so. She said, no, we're really not doing that. He said, I'll tear the whole thing up. If I don't get to eat the cake like I want to eat the cake, ain't nobody eating the cake. Now, how about that? I said, okay. Cake, laughter, crying. I can imagine. It just, I don't know what she did with him to get back to laughing, baby, because he was upset. Party over. Swipe left. Hey, you guys, it's not over. It's not over. This is the end of part 1 of this episode of Swipe Left. I'm going to do this until I get you guys used to the fact that Swipe Left is actually housed on its own channel now, which is Swipe Left Show. So this is why I've actually done it this way. For everybody who doesn't remember or just isn't used to Swipe Left being housed on its own YouTube channel. So this is the ending of part 1 of this episode of Swipe Left. Get your tail over to Swipe Left Show and take a look at the second half of the show. I do what I have to do to make sure you all get what you need. Often imitated, never duplicated. This is Swipe Left, and I am Milan Trezor, the one and only Milan Trezor. Listen, down in the information, there's a link that'll take you right on over to the other channel. Unless you want to just go on and type it on in, you know how to get there. Or use the link. It's up to you. However, we'll get it. Catch you on the other side.